What if Auston Matthews and Connor McDavid played together? These two guys were back-to-back #1 overall picks in back-to-back NHL drafts. In 2015, it was McDavid. In 2016, it was obviously Matthews. And they've been basically the two best players in the entire NHL since that point. I mean, McDavid is by far ahead of Matthews, but Matthews is not terrible compared to the rest of the NHL. I mean, he's on the same level of Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, and Leon Draisaitl. But what if these guys played together for 10 years in their career? Now, I know they did play in the same line in the World Cup in 2016, and they were dynamite. You have Connor McDavid joining the Toronto Maple Leafs for 10 seasons in the Matthews and McDavid era to see how many Stanley Cups they can win as a duo. Alright, so taking a look at the Toronto roster here, we do have McDavid at a 97 overall down the middle. Matthews is only a 93, but I do expect that to grow. He's only 26 years old, so he's still got some time. Marner is a 92 on that first line. We still have William Nylander, 89, Johnny T's an 87, Tyler Bertuzzi, 85, Max Domi's down on the third line. So overall, our forward core is pretty well. Our defense is not the greatest. We have Morgan Riley and John Klingberg. Not much else, if I'm being honest. And for goalies, our starting goalie is going to be Ilya Samsonov, 86 overall, and Joseph Woll is our backup. He's 25 years old. So let's simulate and see how dominant a duo of Auston Matthews and Connor McDavid could be in the modern NHL. So Toronto is going to end up finishing first in our division, going 49, 28, and 5, good enough for 103 points. And Colorado is going to be the best team in the NHL, damn near winning 60 games, followed by Pittsburgh, New York, Winnipeg. Toronto was up there, top 5. Buffalo, Boston, and Tampa Bay at the bottom. Who do we have here? We have Arizona, Chicago, Ottawa, and Philadelphia. The only team that I see that has a bright future here is Chicago, of course, because they have Connor Bedard. Connor McDavid is going to lead our team in goals with 44, in points with 117, followed by Matthews, 92. Marner had 89. John Tavares only 59 points, also -4. Nylander surprisingly only had 59 as well. Bertuzzi 50, Yarncroc 49. Now for goals on our team, John Tavares had 25. Bertuzzi actually had 27. Matthews 42, and of course McDavid 44. Samsonov went 40, 21, and 4. 2 shutouts, a 910 save percentage, decent stats overall. Now for the entire NHL, McDavid is going to lead in points with 117, followed by Ovechkin's 116. Zibanejad had 109. McKinnon 109 as well. Kyle Connor was up there. Anze Kopitar. Now for goals, who is going to lead here? Ovechkin with 68 goals. This dude is 39 years old. Why is he scoring that much? Kyle Connor came in second with 53. Draisaitl had 49. Breadman was up there. Zibanejad and Kaprizov, who had 46. And of course, in the very first round of the playoffs, we are going to have to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hopefully, we do not choke. And unfortunately, we are going to get dominated by Boston in the second round in 5 games as the Carolina Hurricanes go on and beat Vancouver in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. Now for the playoffs, Connor McDavid is going to lead the way on our team, 4 goals and 14 points in only 10 playoff games. Morgan Riley had 12, Auston Matthews 11, Mitch Marner 11. Nathan MacKinnon is going to win the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, while the Art Ross to McDavid, Maurice Richard to Ovi. Norris is going to go to Adam Fox, the Lady Bing to Kyle Connor, and the Conn Smythe to your mom's a hoe, Sebastian Aho. Of course, Connor Bedard is going to win the Calder, the Vezina to Tristan Jarry, and the Selke will go to Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. So as we head into the second season here, McDavid is all the way up at a 98 overall, and Matthews is a 95, so they both grew. Also, Mitch Marner now is up at a 94. We got a +5 on that first line. That's definitely going to help us out. Tyler Bertuzzi's on the second line, 85. Nylander down the middle. Why is he playing the middle? Our third and fourth lines are not the greatest defensively. Who do we have here? Still Morgan Riley and John Klingberg. We picked up Tyson Barrie again. He is back with the team. And for goalies, Samsonov still our starting goalie, 86 overall. So Toronto is going to finish with a 48, 31, and 3 record. Good enough for 99 points and third in the Atlantic. The New York Rangers are the best team in the NHL, winning 55 games, followed by Minnesota. Tampa Bay was up there. Carolina, Dallas, Vegas, Columbus, Buffalo. We were not even here. A little worse than last season, but I guess we had around the same record. I guess teams are just better this year. Yet again, McDavid is going to lead our team in points this time with 113, followed by Mitch Marner's 101. Auston Matthews only had 93. Nylander had 75. Bertuzzi 65. John Tavares only 62. He was a +24 though. Morgan Riley was up there with 59. Now for goals on our team, Matthews is going to have a big season, 53 goals, followed by Marner's 33. McDavid only had 31. Nylander 31. Tavares 27. And Bertuzzi 25. Now Samsonov went 35, 28, and 3. 6 shutouts. Not the greatest stats. Now for the entire NHL, McDavid is going to lead in points with 113, followed by Kucherov's 111. Braden Point had 110. Zibanejad was up there. Mitch Marner. Matthew Tkachuk had 99. Now for goals in the NHL, Kucherov's going to lead the way with 67, followed by Zibanejad Zibanejad's 58. Ovechkin had 58, Matthews 53, Tkachuk 45, and Svechnikov 44. And sadly, we are going to lose to the eventual Stanley Cup champions in the New York Rangers in 5 games in the conference finals, as they go on and defeat Dallas in 6 games in the Stanley Cup finals. Now, despite losing, McDavid's going to have a great playoff run, 14 goals and 30 points in only 15 playoff games, a 2 points per game, followed by Matthews, who had 13 goals and 26 points, a good playoff run by him. Mitch Marner had 20, John Tavares 19, Bertuzzi 14, Nylander only 13 and 1 goal. McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while the Maurice Richard and Nikita Kucherov. The Norris to Erik Karlsson, the Lady Byng to Braden Point, and the Conn Smythe is going to go to Zibanejad, the Vezina to Gustafsson, and the Selke will go to Ryan O'Reilly. So Matthews is still a 95 overall, meanwhile McDavid still a 98, Marner 94. Of course, Bertuzzi, Nylander, and Tavares have not changed whatsoever. Defensively, we are the exact same. Morgan Rielly actually is up at an 89 overall, so that is good, but still our defense core is not the greatest. And Samsonov is an 86 overall as their starting goalie. Toronto is going to have their best regular season of the video so far, winning 50 games, losing 26 and 6 in overtime. That was good enough for 106 points and first in the Atlantic. Now for the entire NHL, Vancouver is going to be the best team at 51 wins, followed by us, Toronto, Carolina was up there, Columbus, New Jersey, Nashville, the Rangers, and Ottawa. Connor McDavid is going to destroy the NHL, 42 goals and 117 points, followed by Mitch Marner's 89, Matthews had 83, Nylander 68, Tavares 64, Bertuzzi was up there. Klingberg actually had a pretty decent season, 52 points. Now for goals on our team, Matthews is going to lead with 49, followed by McDavid's 42, Tavares at 27, Nylander 26, and Marner 23. Samsonov is going to go 43, 21, and 6, 4 shutouts, and not the greatest stats in the world. McDavid still for 3 years in a row is going to lead the NHL in scoring with 117 this time, followed by Leon Draisaitl's 109, Nikita Kucherov at 107, Ovechkin was up there, Kaprizov, Kuznetsov actually had a very good season. And speaking of goals, Ovechkin is going to lead the way with 60 at age 40, followed by Kucherov's 53, Kaprizov at 52, Matthews 49, Connor Bedard was up there with 49. Sadly, yet again, we are not going to have a great playoff run as we lose to Boston in round number 1 in Game 7. And the Vancouver Canucks are going to go on as they beat the Columbus Blue Jackets in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. What the hell is going on? It's going to be a 3-way tie for points on our team between Tavares, Nylander, and Yarncroc. All had 9 apiece. Tyler Bertuzzi had 8, Klingberg 8. Connor McDavid only had 3 goals and 7 points in 7 games. Matthews only had 3 goals as well. John Tavares actually had a very good playoff series, 6 goals and 9 points in 7 games. Yet again, McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Alex Ovechkin is going to win the Maurice Richard. The Norris yet again to Adam Fox, the Lady Byng to Kuznetsov, and the Conn Smythe is going to go to Brock Besser. The Vezina to Demko and the Selke will go to Ryan O'Reilly yet again. So Connor McDavid is still sitting at a 98 overall. Meanwhile, Matthews actually dropped down back to a 94. I guess he didn't have the greatest season last year. Marner still a 94. Still have the same players on the team defensively are still the same. And in goal, who do we have here? We picked up Thatcher Demko, the reigning Vezina winner, 30 years old, 90 overall. Samsonov now is going to be our backup at an 86. So our goalie got a big upgrade this offseason. Had a boy computer. That's how we do, baby. Toronto is going to end up dominating the regular season, going 52, 26, and 4. Good enough for 108 points. Obviously the best in our division and the best not in the entire NHL. We were actually 3rd behind Colorado and New York. The Anaheim Ducks were also up here. Arizona had a very good season, 48 wins. New York was up there. Florida and Vegas at the bottom. Who do we have here? Washington. Chicago is still down there somehow. Only 30 wins on the season. San Jose, of course, who might actually end up having the worst season in history in real life this year. Connor McDavid is going to absolutely tear up, 53 goals and 128 points, followed by William Nylander, who had 108. Mitch Marner had 98. Matthews only 92. Tavares was up there with 79. Bertuzzi 76 now for goals on our team. McDavid had 53. Nylander 38. Matthews 37. Tavares 32. And Marner had 30. So we had, what, 5 30-goal scorers on our team? Not too bad. And for our goalie, Demko is going to go 42, 20, and 3. Only 1 shutout and not the greatest stats in the world, despite the fact he is a 90 overall elite goaltender. Yet again, McDavid is going to lead the entire NHL in scoring with 128 points this season, followed by Brad Marchand's 118. Jack Eichel had 113. Philip Forsberg was up there. Kucherov, McKinnon, Dylan Larkin had 110. Big season by him. Now for goals in the NHL, Kaprizov is going to lead with 60, followed by Alex DeBrincat's 57. Ovechkin still had 56. Now on the New York Islanders, Zibanejad Zibanejad had 54, McDavid 53, Line 51, Kucherov was up there, and it looks like the playoff woes are going to continue as we get dominated by Tampa in the very first round in 5 games, as the New York Rangers yet again are going to go on and win the Stanley Cup, this time beating the goddamn Arizona Coyotes in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now for the playoffs, Mitch Marner is going to lead our team in points with 8, also 3 goals. McDavid had 7 and 2 in 5 games. Klingberg had 7, Nylander 6, 0 goals though. Matthews only had 2 goals and 5 points in 5 playoff games, not the greatest in the world. Yet again, McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Kaprizov is going to win the Maurice Richard. It looks like McDavid is going to take this home until the day he dies. The Norris yet again to Adam Fox, the Lady Byng to Kucherov, and the Conn Smythe is going to go to Alex Lafreniere. The Calder is going to go to Michael Misa, who is on the Montreal Canadiens. The Vezina to Igor, and the Selke will go to Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now Auston Matthews is back up at a 95 overall. McDavid still a 98. Marner still a 94. William Nylander actually has grown to a 91 overall. He's a lot better now. So our first 2 lines are absolutely stacked. Defensively, still not much outside of Morgan Riley. I mean, he's our best defender at an 88 overall, and Demko still in net. He dropped down to an 87 overall, 3 overalls lower. Now Toronto is going to absolutely dominate the regular season, going 56, 19, and 7. Good enough for 119 points. Obviously the best in our division and the best in the entire NHL. So there's no excuses once we get to the playoffs. Followed by the Minnesota Wild. Colorado is up there. Detroit, St. Louis, the Rangers, Carolina, and the Devils. It is now Auston Matthews' turn to absolutely dominate. 64 goals and 124 points. Followed by McDavid's 121. Nylander had 103. Tavares 82, and Marner 82 as well. Bertuzzi at 71. Morgan Riley, pretty decent season by him. Now for goals on our team, Matthews had 64 obviously, McDavid 40, Nylander 32, Tavares 34, Marner 28. Demko is going to go 42, 17, and 6. 4 shutouts and still not the greatest stats in the world. He's still an 87. Auston Matthews is going to end up leading the entire NHL in goals with 64 and points with 124. Followed by McDavid's 121. Buchnevich had 110. Jack Eichel 106. This guy, who I cannot pronounce his name, had 105. Now for goals in the NHL, other than Matthews, Kaprizov had 58. This guy 55. Bedard had 53. Carlson had 50. Torsten Carlson, whoever the hell this guy is. Clutterbuck, Cameron Clutterbuck had 49 goals. These are just creative players now, absolutely dominating the NHL. It has taken us 5 long years to get here, but we are finally in the Stanley Cup Final up against the Vegas Golden Knights. Can Connor McDavid and Auston Matthews win their first Stanley Cup as a duo? And the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to pull through in Game 7 to go on and win their very first Stanley Cup since 1967, well over 50 years, as a duo of Matthews and McDavid finally get it done together and capture their very first Stanley Cups of both of their NHL careers as we defeat Vegas in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It was a close series, a back and forth series. Auston Matthews is going to take home the Conn Smythe, 17 goals and 36 points. The dude was absolutely insane this season. We'll have to see what McDavid did, but definitely well deserved. And there it is, the Stanley Cup finally going to get to be raised here in Toronto at Air Canada Centre. I don't care if they renamed it Scotiabank Centre. It's still the Air Canada Centre to me. And here's our captain, Connor McDavid, coming to collect the Stanley Cup for the very first time in his NHL career, as it has taken him, what, like 13 years to get here in his NHL career. 5 on Toronto with the duo of McDavid and Matthews, but they finally get it done. And of course, he's going to pass it off to his duo, his partner in crime, the guy he sleeps with. Hey, yo, pause. Auston Matthews, as also he is lifting it for the very first time in his NHL career. Now for the playoffs, Auston Matthews is going to lead our team in goals with 17 and points with 36. McDavid would not be far behind, 14 goals and 33 points. So our duo definitely produced. William Nylander had 23, Marner 23, Riley 18. Auston Matthews is going to win the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. The Norris, the Cale Makar, the Lady Byng to Buchnevich, the Conn Smythe, of course, to Auston Matthews. The Vezina is going to go to John Gibson, and the Selke will go to Timmy Stu of the Ottawa Senators. So after winning the Stanley Cup, Auston Matthews is a 95 overall. McDavid is a 98. Mitch Marner actually dropped down to a 93 somehow. He's only 31 years old. Nylander still a 91. We do not have John Tavares anymore on our team. He either retired or left in free agency. Defensively, Morgan Riley is back up at a 90 overall, and our starting goalie, is actually going to be Samsonov at an 86. So somehow after winning the Stanley Cup, we are actually going to end up finishing dead last in our division, going 35, 39, and 8. We are going to be the worst team in the Atlantic. That is tough. Now, the best team in the, oh my God, the best team in the NHL is the Arizona Coyotes, winning goddamn 56 games, followed by Colorado, Carolina, Vegas, Ottawa, New York. Let's take a look at the bottom here. Were we the worst team? No, we were not. We were not even close. I guess the Atlantic was just that good. 24th in the entire NHL. Connor McDavid is going to lead our team in goals with 41 and points with 105, followed by Mitch Marner's 86, Nylander 76. Auston Matthews only had 34 goals and 75 points. Bertuzzi 57, Morgan Riley 54. McDavid obviously had 41 goals, Marner 28, Nylander 25. What did Demko do here? They basically split the games this season, and neither of them were good either. Cameron Clutterbuck is going to dominate the NHL, leading in goals. Actually, he's not even going to lead in goals. This Pavel guy is going to lead with 72, but for points, he is going to lead with 122. Pasta was up there. Buchnevich had a good season. Kaprizov, Kachuk. Now for goals, it was the same pass to Kaprizov, Kachuk, Svechnikov. And the Anaheim Ducks are going to go on and sweep the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup final. What is this sim? Anaheim winning the goddamn Stanley Cup. Clutterbuck is going to win the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while the Maurice Richard is going to go to Pavel. Norris yet again to Adam Fox, the Lady Bing to Buchnevich, and the Conn Smythe to Velarde. The Vezina is going to go to Logan Thompson, and the Selke will go to Quinton Byfield of the LA Kings. So somehow Auston Matthews is going to drop down to a 93 overall. Now on the second line, screw that. He's going back up in the first line. McDavid still a 98. Marner has dropped as well. Nylander also 88 and 93 respectively. Defensively, Morgan Riley's all the way down at an 85. Our D-core is not the greatest, and our goalies are pretty bad as well. Samsonov 84 and Demko 83. So Toronto is actually going to have a bounce back season, going 48, 29 and 5, good enough for 101 points, also first in our division. Carolina was the best team in the entire league, winning 56 games, followed by Colorado, Vegas, New York, Arizona. Toronto finished top 8, and just like that, Connor McDavid is going to light the NHL on fire. 65 goals and 151 points. This guy's 33 years old, still doing this. Followed by Mitch Marner, who had 115. Matthews had 114. Nylander 105. Bertuzzi 61. Damn, that is a big fall off. Now for goals on our team, Nylander had 30. Matthews 56. Marner 28. And of course McDavid 65. Samsonov's going to start most of the games. He went 36, 20 and 0. One shutout and not very good stats. McDavid obviously is going to lead the entire NHL in goals with 65 and points with 151. Followed by Marner, Matthews, Draisaitl was up there. Lafreniere had 105. Nylander as well. Now for goals, other than McDavid, Clutterbuck's going to have 58. Matthews 56. Svechnikov 55. And just like that, we are going to end up losing in Game 7 of round number 2 to the Ottawa Senators, as the St. Louis Blues go on and defeat New Jersey in 6 games to capture the Stanley Cup. For the playoffs, Mitch Marner is going to go insane. 22 points in only 14 games. McDavid had 21 and 11 goals. Matthews had 19. Nylander 9, Bertuzzi 9, Liljegren had 7. Connor McDavid is going to clean sweep on all the awards. The Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. The Norris to Cale Makar, the Lady Bing to McDavid, and the Conn Smythe to Pavel. The Vezina to Kochekov, and the Selke will go to Lundell of the San Jose Sharks. So we have 3 more years to go here in the Matthews-McDavid era. Speaking of the two, they are both sitting at a 95 overall apiece. McDavid is 33 years old and Matthews 32. So they are getting up there in age. Marner is back up to being a 94 overall. Nylander still a 91. Defensively, we did end up picking up Charlie McAvoy in the offseason, 93 overall, 32 years old. He should definitely help out our D-core a ton, considering it's not very good. And in goal, we have Demko as our starting goalie at an 85 and Samsonov 83. It looks like both these guys are washed. And somehow we are back to being absolutely terrible as we missed the playoffs, going 40, 36, and 6, good enough for 86 points on the season. Buffalo is going to get the last spot in the Atlantic at 93 points, so we were not that close. For the entire NHL, the Rangers are going to be the best at 54 wins, followed by the Devils. Arizona was up there, Carolina, and Chicago. McDavid is going to lead our team in points with 109, followed by Nylander's 83. Matthews only at 77. Marner 73. Tyler Bertuzzi was up there, 59. And for goals on our team, Marner's going to have 20, Matthews 38, Nylander 38, and McDavid 35. Of course, Demko is not going to be very good, 27, 29, and 5. 4 shutouts. Now for the entire NHL, Nikita Kucherov is going to lead in points with 122. 102, followed by McKinnon's 116. Robertson had 113. Timmy Stu was up there. Jesper Bratt, and of course, Connor McDavid. Now, for goals in the NHL, this Pavel guy is going to lead with 65, followed by Clutterbuck 61. Tage Thompson had 58. Postma had 57. Rylan Postma. And the Vegas Golden Knights are going to go on and win the Stanley Cup as they sweep Ottawa in the Stanley Cup final. McKinnon is going to take home the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, while the Art Ross to Kucherov, and Pavel wins the Maurice Richard. Norris yet again to Adam Fox, the Lady Bing to Kucherov, and the Conn Smythe is going to go to Jack Eichel. The Vezina is going to go to Luukkonen, and the Selke will go to Quinton Byfield yet again. Now, both Connor McDavid and Auston Matthews have dropped down to a 94 overall, one below where they were at last year. Nylander's down 2 to an 89, and Mitch Marner now is a 92, so it looks like we are regressing. Our team is getting worse year after year. Defensively, Charlie McAvoy now is a 91 overall. The rest of our decor is honestly pretty terrible. And for goalies, you know our goalies are not going to be very good. Samsonov and Demko, 81 and 82 overall. So for the second time in the video, Toronto is going to have a bounce back season, this time finishing first in the Atlantic as we go 51, 26, and 5. Good enough for 107 points. Where were we at in the entire NHL? We were down there at 4th. The only teams better were Dallas, Arizona somehow, and Carolina. Connor McDavid is going to light the NHL on fire, 59 goals and 143 points, followed by Mitch Marner's 114. Matthews had 103. Nylander was up there with 79. He was a -4 though. Charlie McAvoy only had 58. Now for goals on our team, obviously McDavid had 59, Matthews 48, Marner 30, and Nylander 27. And of course, Demko is not going to be very good whatsoever. Davo is going to lead the NHL in scoring with 143, followed by Svechnikov's 120. Your mom's a hoe had 117. Eklund was up there 115. Pedersen had 114. Now for goals in the NHL, Clutterbuck is going to lead with 65, followed by Pedersen, who had 60. Kip Pedersen, I don't know who this guy is. Sadly, we are going to end up losing in Game 7 of round number 1, just like every other year in Toronto Maple Leafs history. This time to the Ottawa Senators as San Jose goes on and wins the Stanley Cup, beating Carolina in 6 games. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Clutterbuck is going to win the Maurice Richard. The Norris is going to go to Adam Fox yet again. This dude wins every single Norris Trophy. McDavo for the Lady Bing, and the Conn Smythe to Eklund. Vezina back to Luukkonen, and the Selke will go to Quinton Byfield yet again. So for the final season of the video, McDavid is all the way down at a 92 overall. Meanwhile, Matthews is still a 94. I don't know how that makes sense. I mean, McDavid is 1 year older, but had a much better season last year. Marner's still a 93 overall. Drake Batherson. Nylander must be gone now, I guess. Our team is not looking too great defensively. We still have Charlie McAvoy, and for goalies, we have Logan Thompson at an 81 overall. Not looking too great, boys. So at the end of the final season, predictably, Toronto is not going to be very good as we end up finishing 6th in the Atlantic, going 36, 34, and 12, which was only good enough for 84 points. That's not good at all. At the top of the NHL, we have the St. Louis Blues, Washington, New Jersey, Arizona, and Chicago. Auston Matthews is going to lead our team in goals with 51 and points with 111. Followed by McDavid's 106. Marner had 106 as well. Charlie McAvoy 48. Holy hell, is that a big drop off? -20, -24, 24, -28, -21. William Eklund is going to lead the NHL in scoring with 118 points, and for goals, it's going to go to Cameron Clutterbuck with 71 goals on the season. Great, just great. That's exactly how I want to end the video, with the Arizona Coyotes winning the goddamn Stanley Cup. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Well, a duo of Auston Matthews and Connor McDavid are going to win 1 Stanley Cup. I repeat, only 1 Stanley Cup in 10 full seasons together. I mean, Sid and Ovi got one together for only 5 years, and they were old as hell. They were like 36 years old when they got together. Let me know in the comments what duo you would like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.